My name is Lance Walker, and I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I'm a board member of the Interfaith Conference of Metropolitan Washington, and I'm happy to give this presentation here and be a part of this dialogue. As with other presenters, I've been asked to talk about our tradition and why we participate in interfaith dialogue. And I think that some background on the church is important in this context. We are a Christian faith. We center our faith and our worship in Jesus Christ. We strive as members of the church to follow his example. We believe that the two great commandments are to love God and to love our neighbors, and that is at the root of our participation in interfaith dialogue is the direction from the Savior to love our neighbors. We also have as one of our articles of faith that we claim the privilege of worshiping God according to our conscience, and we allow all others the same privilege to worship how and where and what they may, and to embrace the traditions that their conscience leads them to embrace. The church was formally organized in 1830 with full membership of 6 people when it was at the organization event. The church, I guess, has grown relatively quickly in the 180 or so years since then. There's been episodes of some misunderstanding over the years, and although we don't let that define us, it is nevertheless a part of our history, and we think it's an important thing that we do our best to live in a way that demonstrates what we believe, but also to share what we believe with others. We think it's important to find common ground and to work alongside others of whatever tradition or faith they may be in efforts to alleviate suffering and to help bring happiness and goodness to the lives of individuals and families and neighborhoods and communities. And when we do that, it will make the world a better place. I'm going to use my cheat sheet here and refer to some of the instruction that we've received from current leaders about why we engage in interfaith dialogue and why or what we believe about our interactions with others. We're taught to practice ourselves and in our families the principle of inclusion of others and not exclusion because of religious, political, or cultural differences. One of our recent church leaders said, "Each of us is an individual. Each of us is different. There must be respect for those differences. We must work harder to build mutual respect, an attitude of forbearance with tolerance for one another, regardless of the doctrines and philosophies which we may espouse. Concerning these, you and I may disagree, but we can do so with respect and civility." As members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, we understand that we are perceived by some to be a peculiar people. Our doctrines and beliefs are important to us, and we embrace them and we cherish them. We must understand that not everyone is going to accept our doctrine, and our neighbors are not of our faith are for the most part good and honorable people, every bit as good and honorable as we strive to be. They care about their families just like we do. They want to make the world a better place just like we do. They're kind and loving and generous and faithful just like we seek to be. The First Presidency, the most senior leading body of the church, has said, "Our message is one of special love and concern for the eternal welfare of all men and women, regardless of religious belief, race, or nationality, knowing that we are truly brothers and sisters because we are sons and daughters of the same eternal Father." I quoted several leaders there, Gordon B. Hinckley, who is a past president of the church, Russell M. Ballard, who is a current apostle of the church and senior leader of the church. I'll conclude with quoting Elder Ballard again, who said, "In our communities we can and must work together in an atmosphere of courtesy, respect, and civility. And again, I think that it's the Savior's, that it's the instructions from Jesus Christ to love our neighbor that is at the root of all that we do when it comes to our interactions with others, whether they be fellow Christians or not, people of any tradition or faith. We find common ground and we work with them. As I suggested earlier, there's been some misunderstanding of the church over the years, and we like to clear up the misunderstanding where we can, and we think that the best way for people to know who we are is to live our religion and to be good neighbors and to be good friends. And I'm quite sure that anybody of any tradition feels the same way, and that they want others to learn of their tradition through them and to see how they live. And so just as members of this church want to have that kind of respect and appreciation from others, we owe it to everybody else the same kind of respect and appreciation, and to learn from them, to see how they live, to hear them talk about what's important to them. And so that is the reason that we are involved in interfaith dialogue. We are pleased with the learning that we gain through the experience, the friendships that we form with others, the understanding that we gain of other traditions. And there's no better way. In fact, I think it's the only real way to learn of other traditions is to hear it from them and to see how it affects their lives and the good that they bring to the world. And so we learn a lot as we go through this process. We hope that others learn of our tradition. We will continue in this work both here locally, but we, as members of the church, are encouraged to be a part of interfaith dialogue all over the world, and I hope that in other countries and other places that such dialogue is allowed. We appreciate the work of the IFC here in Washington, D.C. and the good that they accomplish. And I'll leave it at that. I look forward to the ongoing discussion that we'll have in this forum, and appreciate the opportunity.